Good morning, everybody. I think we're about 4:30ish, I don't know. I haven't got my watch on. Should have had a little look before I started, I don't know. Never mind. So how's everyone today? I'm just busy stitching down, appliquing the Dresden plates I was doing the other day, or the Dresden petals. So this is all part of. Do you know, I forgot to put the light on here. I wonder if you can do it after you've started. I'm just looking at all my little bits here. No, missed that one. I'll bring that round a bit. There we are. That's better. I've got a lamp here. It's going backwards and forwards on me. It's not staying where I want it to. There we are. That's better. A rogue light whistling around. So, what's everybody up to? As I say, I'm just appliquing the Dresdens down. And started doing it last night, so I've got down to sort of about here. And I'm just doing one petal or one curve, if you see what I mean, one section at a time. And I tend to work backwards towards it. Don't ask me why, but I do. Instead of just going all the way around and a little bit back. Oh, do you know what? Now there's pins. That is the only thing. Because this is so long, there's pins everywhere to keep it as flat as possible. Last thing you need is it all puckering. There's a couple of little bits that are not too bad. But I'll give them a bit of an iron and it'll be absolutely fine. There are lots of pins. Let me see, can I show you why I've got hundreds of pins everywhere? What I don't want are those bits springing out, and they do it very well, where you've tacked them round and then taken them out of the papers, they will spring. So take the papers out and then, as I say, I just applique them down. Like so. So what are we all doing? What's everyone up to? Right, this is my second runner. So these are the Dresden runner. I did if anybody does want, I did a pattern for this the other day, but really more so that you've got the templates that you need to make it, and a quick how-to. And the circles go wherever. I'll put them on after. So I've tacked them all on ready and given them an iron. But as you can see, you get all sorts of little puckers all the way around. I do them over paper, or card, I should say, in the same way as I do the Dresden edge. So as you're doing it under you, hold it under, hold it under, hold it under, and work your way around that you've got loads of little tacks. I don't know if you can see. There's actually quite a few. Does any of these show it better? Possibly not, because I tacked in white. Because that's what was to hand. Anyway, so they're all there ready, but the thing is to get this down first. And then once you've got that attached, you can pop your circles on. I leave the card in the circles while I'm attaching. And so you'll go around your circle, leave yourself a gap about that big, take your tacking out, pull the card out, and then just finish off that edge. And then that way, that makes your life so much easier. I've just realised I've still got a pin in there, look. Why have I still got a pin in there? That's a bit daft. There we go. So, that's how I put on my circles. Where am I? Look, I'm going backwards on myself. That was a bit daft, wasn't it? So yeah, so anyone doing the runner, that's how I do the applique bits. The actual Dresden plate petals that I'm putting down now, I take the paper out first, pin them all in place, and then put them on. There's a couple of people popped on and popped off again, which is fair enough. Not everybody's cup of tea to sit and watch me doing a bit of stitching and just nattering. So what's been going on? It's getting very exciting. I've got a family wedding coming up in Scotland. I'm so looking forward to it. Yeah, so go and see lots of family. And we're getting married on the first tee of the golf club, because he's the golf captain. And the view is just stunning. Can't wait for that. Hopefully they'll have the weather. And then there's a yurt just off, because obviously they don't want that on all of us on the golf course. A yurt. And we're going to have a ceilidh. So, really looking forward to it. Great fun. Oh, I've got a sneeze coming. Hold on. I do apologise. I'm not quite sure what that is. Do you know, I've had something lurking for days, and I do wonder if I got a bit of a cold or something. I don't know. If I have, it won't come forth. It will come fifth. There we go. Sorry. That was a bit daft, wasn't it? Yeah, so really looking forward to. So there's going to be the kilts and everything. Yeah, can't wait. So I've got them all. Now I've got a runny nose as soon as I sneezed. Just what I want, and I haven't got a tissue to hand, so I do apologise, folks. Yeah, so that's really exciting. So the shop, my studio will be closed from this Friday for a week. I'll put a notice up. Having said that, if anybody orders anything, not a problem. But they will be a little bit later coming to you, because I'll get them into the post immediately. I get back, because obviously we come back, it's a bank holiday. So it'll all come out on the Tuesday to everybody. But I'm sure everyone will be happy about that. So yeah, you have to bear with me. I should be off enjoying myself. Halfway up a Scottish mountain. How lovely. Yeah, so then before that we get to go and see other family further up again in Scotland. So it's nice. And some family that I've not seen for a very long time. So it's going to be lovely. I'm really looking forward to it. Hey, anybody out there this morning? How you all doing? I'm just appliquing my Dresden petals. I don't know that this neck thing's very... Is that better? Yeah, it might be better. You can see what I'm doing a bit more. It's my Dresdens that I was doing the other night. I've got loads done because Paul's been watching a programme on the telly, called Bad Sisters. If anybody's into watching things, I don't generally watch a lot of telly. I listen to it because I'm sat here doing. But we've binged watched 2 series of this programme called Bad Sisters. Oh, it's funny. It's 5 sisters, Irish, and they're trying to kill this guy off, the brother-in-law that's being really horrible to one, and it just keeps going wrong, and it goes from one thing to another, and just hysterical. Morning, Mary. How you doing, darling? Thank you for joining me. I'm just wittering my head off here as normal. Yeah, so if anybody is into watching in series, one of the ladies that comes into my studio, the therapy, call that the therapy cupboard for those that don't know, suggested it, and oh dear, we've just had such a giggle over it. It's been lovely. So it's called Bad Sisters. It's on Apple TV, I believe. That's Paul's department. I don't generally get involved with things like that. Morning, Wanda. I see that you're watching. Little things come up on my thing. That's nice. What time are you over there? I suppose it's more through the day for you. I'm not sure. But welcome. Good morning or afternoon, depending what it is for you. So, yeah. Bad Sisters. If you've got time to watch it, it's such a good watch. We basically all weekend and then finished the series off last night. So 2 series. Great fun. Oh yeah, I think the comments on my thing here are coming up quite slowly today. I don't know. I could be wrong. So for anyone just coming in, I'm just doing runner. Appliquéing down the Dresden petals I've been doing over the last week or so. Having said that, look, I've been a good girl. And I've got the next lot all prepped, look. I just need to tack them down, so they're all there. I just pick up any fabric, anything. And believe me, I've got scraps. So there's 57 Dresden petals in a runner and 8 circles. So there's another 57 there, sat ready to go. What have I done with my needle now? There we are. Because I want to do another 3 of these. And then I'm going to put them all together as a quilt and see how that looks. I'm quite looking forward to that. Should be a good one. It's keeping me quiet, that's for sure. But yeah, I'm looking forward to this one. I look forward to all of them. Got another 2 months on the mystery quilt to go, and then that will go public. That's the point. I need to shout Sarah. 10:42 p.m. here. I think those Dresdens are looking marvellous. Thank you, darling. I think they're looking marvellous too. That's one of my favourite words, marvellous. Fabulous and marvellous and wonderful and lovely. All good words in this world. Keeps you happy, cheerful and positive. Because at the end of the day, if you've got a positive outlook, it makes your life so much easier and better and happier. I'm just finishing this off. I travel it right the way along underneath if I can. Depends how much thread I've got left. And there we go. I think I'm just looking at what's going on the screen here. And I think it might take a little while for people's comments to come through. Yeah, there we are. I can hear the birds chirping out there already. Time must be getting on. So I do, as I said earlier, I do a section at a time. Now, I did myself up a needle ready for when I'd finish this one. I just got that caught. So, good news as of yesterday. Fabulous news, I think. Grosvenor shows. So they're the people that do the quilt shows, yeah? All around the country. They used to have 2 shows at Harrogate, and then it got so expensive. The showground costs an absolute fortune. And so they moved the Harrogate show down to Doncaster. And to be fair, it was a fabulous venue at Doncaster, but for whatever reason, people didn't like it. I don't know. It was great, but there we are. So they've moved it back to Harrogate. It's costing all of us exhibitors an absolute fortune. So please support them. They cost us so much, but this one's now quite expensive because the showground. It's not even the company that does it or us. So please support if you're up that way. But having said that, they've booked it for next year because these things all take time in advance. So the Harrogate show is back, folks, and it is a competitive show like it used to be, always, which is why I have to go. I say I have to go. I do choose, but they want me there because I'm their judge coordinator, so it's my job for them to keep all the judges in line. That sounds funny, doesn't it? Chief judge, basically. If there's any queries or anything going on, I'm the referee. But I oversee the judging for them, both Harrogate and Malvern, so that's their 2 competitive shows in the year, to make sure it's done fairly. How did you get the Dresdens to stay in place? Are they pinned? Yes, they are. There's loads of pins. Look, I did explain just now, but you may have missed that. So there's pins at every section. All right, and then I tend to put one across there. You need to keep it as flat as you can because what you don't want is the background wobbling. So that's the section I've done. I lay it right out on my work table. I'm quite lucky. I've got a big table. So I lay it all out, and then I pin the whole lot. Right, loads of them. What you want to do is try and stop your tacking, not your tacking, your fold, because you've put it around your card, tacked it around your card. Yeah, look, if I show you it on the circles. So you tacked it around on the card, all right, and the way I do that, so I put it under my nail. Well, I've got no nail because I broke it. Under the nail, hold it, tack it, put it underneath, hold it, tack it, hold it, and I go round like that sort of thing, and you get all these pleats. Right, so that one's still tacked, and then what I do is I give it a real good iron so as it's nice and flat. All right, so with the Dresden, I then take the tacking out before I attach it. So you've got to make sure that they don't start springing. So I find that one pin in every one, although it's quite annoying perhaps, but there's one pin in every one to stop them springing out and keeping it all as flat as it possibly can. So yes, I do pin it. That's the answer to that one. What was I whispering about anyway? Oh, I know, I was going on about judging, wasn't I? Do you know what? It's such an honour to be asked to judge. I don't think there's anything higher that I could attain. I've been there judge coordinator for several years now. And yeah, it's a privilege, it's an honour. You don't just get these jobs. So I do Malvern and I do Harrogate. And as I was saying about Harrogate, it's back on, it's just fab. I love Harrogate. But it's a hell of a job for me to get up there. Hours and hours and hours. I think it's a 7-8 hour drive for me from Cornwall. But that's okay. We do that. So it takes a day to get up there. So then we have a day judging. So we usually have 6 judges. I just lost my thread out my needle. And we judge in pairs. So that we keep each other balanced, if that makes sense. And we also, what I generally do is have judges or people that might have specific skills. So, say long arming. So it might actually be a long armour. Make sure there's a long armour. Just judging the long arming. They've got the relevant experience to look and see what they're doing. We judge on 5 criteria, scoring 1 to 10 within each. And then the numbers will give you your winner. If I feel, maybe it's out of balance or something like that, we might look at it again as several of us. Occasionally you'll get loads on one section, loads of points, and then it's like, well, how come these judges are maybe judging higher than others or whatever, and it's my job to keep it all nicely even and get the appropriate winner. The winner, well, I say the appropriate winner, the actual winner is always judged by numbers. Doesn't matter what the quilt is, if the numbers tell it as the winner of the category, they're the winner of the category. So yeah, very excited to have Harrogate back. So everybody needs to be making lovely quilts and putting them in. Lots of lovely quilts, put them in. I was saying about the mystery quilt just now, actually. I've got 2 months left on that. It's up for long arming with a friend of mine, Sarah, at Ambleside Quilting. I know that I can just drop it off and say, do what you want, and it will be fabulous. So she's imbued. So she's about an hour away from me. Take that pin out. There we go, that's better. Make sure it's laying flat always. There we are. Yeah, so I need to see how that's getting on. Go get that back in time for binding. I need enough time to make sure that the binding's right, take all the photos and such like, and then that will be ready to display. Well, it will go to Harrogate with me, that's for sure, and others of the shows. It's not going to be back in time for Malvern, unfortunately. Malvern's in May, and it's never ready, and because I do it over 6 months, it's never going to be ready for the Malvern show, but I do show it later in the year at Malvern. So the mystery quilt's on the way, which will be really cool. I seem to have had a point there and I've not got rid of it on here. Got my new, did I tell everybody the other day? My new varifocals. Horrible. Can't get on with them for the life of me. They're ideal if I'm sat still, sort of doing this or maybe watching telly. I can't drive in them, so I've had to order a new pair of driving. Just standard, straight. I don't feel safe, so I'm not wearing them. Tried several times now, and it's like, no. I go all fuzzy at the corners and stuff. That sounds good, doesn't it? I've got all fuzzy at the corner. They are, look. Did you see that? I came out of the point there, went back underneath, and that pulls the point in whilst losing the thread. Let me just rethread that. And I'll finish that one off. Yeah, so there we go. It says something, how many years I've been doing this sort of thing if they offer me Chief Judge Jim, bless them. Too many years. I can't believe I'm still doing, actually. So what's everybody doing out there? There's several of you out there watching, I can see that. So what are you doing? How are you filling your time at 5 o'clock in the morning? What are you doing, folks? Tell me, tell me, tell me. Oh, come through. I'm just hanging on to this so that I don't lose my thread before I take it through. Right, there we go. So can you see, nice and flat, hardly any pucker. You can see where I've done all my stitching. And then I'd give that an iron from the back and make sure that the cream that I'm working on is flat and no wrinkles, ruckles, whatever. And then I'd look at the front and make sure that's looking fine. And then that's another section done of the quilt. As I say, I've got another 3 of these to do. Haven't got to, but want to. I'm going to turn it, the runner. I'm going to put several of them together and make it a quilt. So there we go, we're coming on, we're getting there. Started there, working my way along. I've still got all of that to do. So I've got hundreds of pins in it, all over the place. So let me just put my needle away so as I don't lose the needle, because it's the needles I lose because there's no end on them. Pins I don't tend to, I can find them. Right, so I've got another one of these here. I've got a knot in it. Did I put a knot in it? I did. When I thread a needle, it's actually a bit too long, the thread. I always put a knot in it without thinking, even if I don't need it, it happens automatically. So what I'm going to do, just because it makes life easier, I've found, that's the area that I've not done that in. So I'm going to start here and work back to where I've done. Don't ask me why, but it seems to work. But I need to turn it all round. There we go, turn that all round. Mind the pins. So I've got a knot in it and I'm coming up from underneath. And the aim is always to get this as flat as you possibly can. You don't want any puckers or ruckles or anything like that. Let me just get that. It's not happening, not feeling comfortable with this. I'm not holding it well. Come through, so I'm through. There we are. Now I'm going the wrong way. Why have I got this round the wrong way? Because I've started the wrong end. Have I? No, I've not. I am doing what I'm supposed to do. But I need back again. It's not feeling comfortable. Is it underneath? Now, if anybody's left-handed, you can see what I'm doing it because it's left-handed this time and I have no idea why I've got myself in a pickle. But that's fine. As flat as you possibly can. As you're coming along, you can see where the thread comes out. Here, you go underneath yourself just a fraction and then come out in that run. When you're stitching, are you using an embroidery needle or something different? No, it's just a bog standard needle. I would say when you're stitching, just use whatever you're comfortable with, yeah. The finer, the better, because it will just run through. I've not got my oh, have I? Have I got my favourite thread? I picked up white because of the colour of the background. Depending what I'm doing, I'm just looking to see if I've got. For the most part, I actually use a grey, but because the background's cream, I've got white going on here. And this is a silk thread. All right. I don't know if you get Gutermann threads over in America. Wonder, but this is silk, and it's really, really soft and disappears into things like you've never seen. It's fabulous stuff. But as I say, because I only tend to keep the grey because that goes with everything, I would usually just use that. But because that's cream, I've gone back to a bog standard white cotton. Yeah. And as I say, it's a bog standard needle. It's quite a solid needle. I do like, although to be fair, yeah, the only reason I'm probably not using applique needles for this are lovely, because applique needles are long and thin. They're designed for the job. So if you can get an applique needle, try that. Clover applique needles are lovely. They do like a gold-headed one. Again, don't know that you get them out there, but gold-headed applique. And the finer, the better. A lot of the criteria for when I'm working is the fact that can I actually see it to thread it, because there's no point else. So I'm going underneath and then coming out in the fold, at the bottom of the fold, so that the stitch disappears underneath. I have a bit of a thing about that. For me, I don't like to see the stitching. I like it hidden. What you could do is like a blanket stitch all the way around it, not a problem. That looks lovely. Or running stitch, if you were like a quilting stitch all around the edge, that looks lovely. It's however you want to do, but my thing is I like it just sat there that you cannot see. But that's me for you. We all have our own ways of doing things. And me being me is usually the most difficult way of doing stuff. Can you see how flat that is? There's no buckers or anything going on. I'm always holding it to make sure that doesn't do any more. Pull that underneath, and then that will disappear for you. So I've come out under that red there, out of the red. So back underneath the red. Right, and then out. Now I'm showing you in depth, it's not doing it for me. Out in the fold. You might only catch a tiny bit, but in the fold. And then that will disappear underneath. If you get that you've got a point or something going on that doesn't look very pretty, come out in the point, go back, and the next stitch will pull that point in for you. Only so much. It's not going to, huge, big points. It's not going to happen. Have I got a knot under there? I've got a knot under there. No, I've not. It's an odd bit of... There we go. I'm fighting with this bit of thread there, and all it is was a little cut off of the fabric. That was a bit silly. So, yeah, into there. Says she. I can just start hearing traffic outside, so obviously people are getting up and walking about and doing life. Life is lifing, as they say. I keep getting little loopy knots, and that's because actually the thread that I've cut is too long. But never mind. Right. Do make sure when you're doing them that you do go right the way down into that, I want to say corner, it's not really a corner, but right into there. Hold that bit down. Yeah, and then come back up the other side. There we are. So is anybody out there stitching? I'm just going to do round a little bit, and then I'm going to say ta-ra to everyone, because there's only so much of me that you can be doing with, I'm sure. Here we are. That stitch disappears underneath. I'm doing it back to front, but actually you can see probably better where I'm coming out in underneath the fold. You're working along on the edge, underneath, and bring it out. That one was probably a good one if you can see it. And then your stitches disappear. Take that out a minute. That'll make life easier. This is actually stitching back to front for me. I usually work with this the other way around, but this is not a bad thing. If you're left-handed, this is the way perhaps you would work, or come back the other way. Underneath and in the fold. Alright. Each time I'm checking that the background is still flat. Alright, so it's coming around there quite nicely. And the background is flat. Oh, I've got a point coming up, as far as I can see. Can you see that's a little bit out of shape? I might be able to show you how to pull it in. Right, so I've come out at the minute. I'm near that point. I'm not actually in it. Gucci is here. I purchased a variety of needles tonight because I want to start the Japanese pattern. Using the template I purchased this week. Hopefully I'll finish making a denim quilt for a friend first. Fabulous. That's lovely, Wanda. I'm glad you got your template and stuff. I always worry when posting stuff abroad whether you get it or not. Right, so pull that back in under. The most important thing while I'm thinking of it, Wanda, when you're doing Japanese folded with my templates, the first thing you do, you cut your circle and you turn a hem. So you're just turning flat over raw edge just once, yeah? And then you're tacking around before then you carry on and fold in and such. That turn, whatever size you turn it, I usually allow 1/4 inch, but whatever size you turn that, it needs to be the same on each unit. Otherwise, they don't go together very well. They'll come out different sizes, so you need to make sure when you're turning your outside edge in, get every unit exactly the same. And that's I don't know if you can see that point just about disappeared. That's not too bad now. Yeah, so get your edge the same. What I might do, have you seen that there is a demo of it I've done on YouTube? All right, so Japanese folded patchwork templates. Have a little look on my YouTube channel and you should find a demo how to. But the very, very most important thing is that first stage. Accuracy always. There's me knot. I knew I've got a knot in here somewhere. Yeah, so accuracy always. So when you're cutting it out, they've all got to be right. Okay. And then once you've cut them out, your circles, this is, you can bodge your centres, not a problem. If they need a little bit of trimming, don't worry, just trim them. Make sure when you're putting them together, so you've got your circle and you tack it. That tacking is crucial. Once that's done, you'll then put in your square of wadding in the centre and a square of whatever lovely fabric. Both of those can be trimmed as you work, it doesn't matter, but make sure you've got a pin in the centre, and then that will keep everything where it needs to be. There we go. Another little lesson. I might bring one in one night and have a little go about that. If I get one ready and bring it in, then whatever night I land up, can't sleep, I'll do a quick demo again of it. I'm just folding this up because I'm thinking you've all probably had enough of me by now. Thank you, those of you that have joined me. I'm going to have a little drink and see can I get back to bed for an hour before having to get up and do class. Got classes today, which is lovely. Always have classes on Tuesdays, Wednesdays. We do like, I'm just putting my pins away here. Do you know these are great? Look. They're magnetic pin dish. Absolutely fabulous. If you've not got one, can't recommend them enough, especially at night. You can see they do wonderful things. I don't like that. And they've got their own life in there going on. It's great. Yeah, so always have my magnetic pin dish. They've got hell of a magnet on the back. Oh, look. And there's my little leather dot that goes on my finger when I start putting a hole in it. That stops the holes in my fingers. Put that away. Put that away. And what I was going to do is I was going to show you another bit of this quilt that I've got on me. You might have seen photos of it on my Facebook. It's the Scrappy quilt, done on a till roll. And I did just see somewhere I got carried away. Oh, I can't find it now. There's all sorts of bits and leftovers from quilts that I was making. I didn't do the whole thing. The centre part started at there's applique hearts on there from whatever I was doing there. There's a Christmas tree in the middle. It's great fun. I started it. No, Angie started it for me. Well, she didn't know she was doing it for me. She was just sat at a retreat last year, messing around with all of these bits and things, and didn't know what to do with it. And I absolutely loved it. So I said, well, actually, I swapped her this quilt top for some fabric. So it was a fair exchange. And she just didn't know what to do with it. That's what I wanted. But I added this section here to make it bigger. And then look, I've got a fleece on the back of it, and it's absolutely gorgeous. It's so warm and lovely. So that got that quilted. Sarah, no, Carol did this one. I have a couple of different ladies that I use depending what I'm doing, and I quite like it. I don't know if you can see there's nice little runs, and it just goes right the way across. It's a simple, lovely quilt design. Things don't have to be complicated to be gorgeous. And look, there's a heart. And look, this, I don't know, years ago we did a block swap. And I can't even remember who, with, or how. And this is part of that, one of the lovely blocks that came. Look, you've got prairie points going on here. And it was all boutiques and things, gorgeous. I'm not sure that one didn't actually come from America because it was a worldwide swap. And it was a bit that I had left over after we'd done. So everything, it's a bit of a memory quilt, really. Right, what we got going on here? Another. Thank you for the information. I'm sure I'll be watching and then rewatch the video until I get it right. Have yourself a wonderful day. Wanda, thank you, darling. You sleep well tonight. Don't be awake like I am over there. All right. Going to say ta-ra to everybody. Thank you for joining me for a little bit of a witter. We like a witter, as you know. I'll pop this video over on Patchwork Witterings, Abbieanne, so that if you do want to go back and look at any of it, you can do. Skip through most of it, but there's bits of info that might be interesting for you. Going to say have a lovely day, everybody. All right, take care. Be lovely.